Hey, good morning. Yep, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. So the first week of college football is officially in the books. Well, I guess not 100% official. We've got a couple of games today, and then, of course, Georgia Tech and Tennessee tomorrow. But, you know, I woke up this morning, I was still kind of down about the whole Eason thing and quarterback situation at Georgia. And, you know, I need to just snap out of it. So I figured what better way to do it than to talk about some other realities for some of these other teams that appear to be in much, much worse shape than UGA. I will just say this real quick about the Eason Frome thing, and then I'll move on to explaining some things to some of you other idiot fans of some of these other idiot teams that look like complete trash and garbage yesterday. Frome looked good. You know, there's no other way you can put it. I mean, he looked better than Eason. Now, we only saw Eason for a couple of series, but Eason did not look good in those two series. With that being said, we've got to get Eason back. We cannot be in a situation where our only second option is Bryce Ramsey. And UGA has never won the East with a first-year starter at quarterback. So Georgia fans, keep that in mind. A lot of Georgia fans trashing Jacob Eason today. I don't understand that. I never thought I would see the day where you had fans of a team trashing one of their own injured players. We need Eason back. Whether he starts or the backup, that's not the point I'm getting at here. You do not want to be in a situation, Georgia fans, if you watched the game yesterday, you know, where, you know, you're one twisted ankle away from having Bryce Ramsey run that offense. The dude is absolutely terrible. I mean, he's got to be the worst quarterback I've seen at UGA. He's worse than Joe Cox. He's worse than Joe Tereshinski. He's worse than Lambert. He's worse than Hudson. I mean, he's terrible. Terrible. Anyway, Frome looked good. We'll be fine at the quarterback situation. Either way it goes. So, you know, I feel good there. But listen, look, Florida fans, y'all need to start over. I'm talking about from scratch. Well, what is it, half your, let's say half your team, half your 85 scholarships are devoted to offensive players. I'm just making that number up. I'm just guessing, basically. Just get rid of them all, every single one of them. And just start over. I don't care if it takes you another 5 or 10 years to build back up or whatever. Your offense is absolutely embarrassing. I mean, I don't know if I've seen an offense that bad. It's god awful, and I don't know what the excuse is. You've got returning starters at quarterback that you're choosing not to play in Del Rio. You've got a redshirt freshman who's supposed to be all world, Felipe Franks. The guy's god awful. You've got a graduate transfer who's been in college for 5 years, supposed to be really smart, went to Notre Dame, supposed to be a running quarterback, give you an added dimension, all that. If he ever sees the field again, it'll shock me, Malik Zaire. That guy looked like he never played football before. You know, you talk about all these running backs that you got, and it doesn't matter that Jordan Scarlett's out. You got this person and P. Ryan and the other and that. You had 11 yards rushing. Not in the first quarter, not in the fourth quarter, total for the entire game, 11 yards. Jim McElwain is an offensive coach, supposed to be an offensive genius. He's been there how many years now? The majority of the players on this team are handpicked by Jim McElwain. He can't find a quarterback that can successfully complete passes. He can't find a running back that can run the ball. He can't get an offensive line that can allow you to get more than 11 yards rushing against a Michigan team that has recruited well. But let's be real, Florida's recruited well too. Michigan had one returning starter on defense. One. You scored 3 points against that defense. 3. The only 2 touchdowns you had were pick sixes. So, I mean, I guess glass half full, I guess congratulations, your defense still looks pretty good. It's outscoring your offense 14-3 so far this year, but your offense is absolutely abysmal. I mean, just embarrassing. I don't understand how it's gotten to the point where Florida can have an offense that's that damn bad. It's hard to watch. I mean, it's setting football back 50 years. Well, I don't know what you're doing down there. Alabama did what Alabama does. They destroyed Florida State, humiliated them. This game was never really in question after the first quarter. Florida State just couldn't do anything at all offensively against Florida State, which was no surprise to me. Florida State couldn't block anybody last year, and guess what happened last night? Couldn't block anybody again. I never like to see anybody get injured, but that injury did not look good for Francois. I don't know. I haven't even checked on an update for him or whatever, so somebody can leave it down below. But based on what I saw, he won't be back this year. It looked bad to me. He couldn't put any weight on it at all. It definitely appeared to be a way worse injury than Jacob Eason's. I hope he's okay. I never like to see anybody get injured. You know, but you couldn't protect him last year. I don't know what made you think you were going to be able to protect him against Alabama. I told you in the preseason prediction video I made that your front seven would, or your offense would not be able to handle Alabama's front seven, and they couldn't. Hats off to South Carolina. I thought they would lose week 1 to NC State. They played pretty good, won 38 or 35-28. Talked a little bit about that yesterday, so I was impressed there. Deebo Samuel is a playmaker. He might be the best wide receiver in the SEC. He's that good. So we'll see where they go from here. Vanderbilt, you look pretty good. I'll be honest, I thought Vanderbilt had a chance to lose yesterday. They won convincingly. Kentucky, you barely won. You probably should have lost. So Kentucky, same old Kentucky. So shut all that hype down that you've been saying all preseason. Kentucky is garbage. They'll finish last or next to last in the SEC East. Missouri, how is it possible that your defense is even worse than I thought it would be? I can't believe that. Now, I knew you'd score a ton of points. I spent all offseason talking about Drew Lock and how he was going to throw for 5,000 yards, and that's basically what he did. What he scored 60 or 70-something points, gave up 50 points. The first half was like a track meet. A team got the ball, 2 plays later they were scoring. Your defense is god-awful. I still think you'll win a game, maybe 2, that you're not supposed to win. If you catch a team like a Florida or something that's got no offense, and you somehow manage to score enough points to win, I still think that'll happen, but you're terrible. You're light years away from being anything meaningful or relevant. Some non-SEC, one more SEC team. Auburn. How's that Jared Stidbaloney for Heisman hype campaign working out for you this morning? This dude looked terrible. I mean, just awful, right? Stidbaloney's been with Auburn all offseason, knowing he was going to be the starter. Been getting all the first team reps, comes out against Georgia Southern, a team that's not very good. App State is better than Georgia Southern. They've proven it on the field over the last few years. App State way better than Georgia Southern. Stidbaloney comes out, completes about 55% of his passes against Georgia Southern. Woo! Jake Fromm completed almost 70% of his passes, coming off the bench, not expecting to play, getting hardly any work with the first team all offseason. He comes out, completes almost 70% of his passes as a true freshman against a better team than Stidbaloney, who's been around in the Big 12 for a while. He did sit out a year last year, but that's not the point. It's not like he was a first-time starter. And all this Stidbaloney for Heisman, and then the Barners are like, but Uncle Lou, Stidman gives you another dimension. Stidman is elusive and can run the ball. Yeah, against Georgia Southern, he can run the ball 9 times for 17 yards. Whee! The wheels on the Gus bus, round and round, round and round, round and round. Look. Another season of no quarterback for Auburn. Look, Clemson's going to beat you by 3 scores. You can write that down right now. You're going to get it. You're going to get absolutely humiliated next weekend at Clemson. You just don't stand a chance. Anyway, moving away from the SEC here. Texas, I'm ashamed of you. There is no excuse for Texas's defense being that bad. Texas's defense and Mizzou's defense, it could have been the same players maybe. I don't know. Did they play at different times? Maybe after the Missouri game, they just flew them down to Texas and had them play against Maryland, because that was all absolutely terrible. Maryland? I forgot they even had a team until I saw their helmets, and then I was like, oh yeah, Maryland, the team with the worst helmets in the history of college football. Those things, you can't even look at those things. You're better off trying to look at the Eclipse without glasses on than you are trying to look at the Maryland helmets. Those things are ugly as hell. but y'all couldn't stop a nosebleed. Your offense really didn't look that good either, and I thought your Bouchel, or whatever the hell his name is, was going to be pretty good. Hell, I picked y'all to win 10 games and compete for the Big 12. That ain't happening. Y'all are god-awful. I was a huge Tom Herman fan. There's a lot of UGA fans who want Tom Herman at UGA instead of Kirby Smart. I think they changed their mind after yesterday, though. Jesus Christ, man. Y'all look terrible. Terrible. Which is bad news because Oklahoma, you know, they look like the same old Oklahoma. So I had picked y'all to possibly upset Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. That's not happening. You guys are awful. You look worse than last year. How's that possible? I don't know, but you somehow figured out a way to do it. Southern Cal, disappointing too. Who'd you play? Western Michigan or some crap team, whoever you played. You let them hang around for no reason way late into the second half. Darnold didn't look all that good to me. He's supposed to be the Heisman front runner. Didn't look good at all. In my opinion, those odds should change right now. Lamar Jackson should be moving up towards the top of that list. Lamar Jackson lit it up for Louisville. They played a nobody. But I never really understood anyway. The dude won the Heisman last year. He's returning this year, yet somehow he was like the third or fourth favorite to win the Heisman behind Darnold and Baker Mayfield, which Baker Mayfield looked good. But who else embarrassed themselves over the weekend? I don't know. Anyway, the main thing here is Florida. Start over. I mean, there's no excuse. None. You look terrible. Stid Baloney, Jeremy Johnson 2.0, whatever, Sean White 2.0, you know, John Franklin the fourth, I guess, as you already had John Franklin the third. The guy's no good. Listen, I told y'all, oh, look how good he did in the 3 games that he played. Yeah, against Big 12 defenses. What if this weekend didn't prove anything else to you? What did it prove? The Big 12 still don't have no defense. Look at Texas. Embarrassing. I mean, just get real. The guy started 3 games 2 years ago in the Big 12. Y'all think he's coming into the SEC and winning the Heisman? The dude can't even complete 60% of his passes against Georgia Southern. Runs for 17 yards, and it's not like he didn't run. He ran the ball 9 times. 17 yards. Not even 2 yards a carry. Florida and Auburn. Terrible. LSU looked good against BYU. A lot of people saying BYU had a chance to win that game. I was never on that train. I knew that wasn't happening. Everybody knew LSU was winning that game, but LSU did look pretty good. Defense legit, for sure. I'm still not sold on their quarterback. A little too much of a game manager. I just don't think he's got all that much talent, to be honest, but we'll see how that plays out. But Alabama, definitely the cream of the crop, number 1 team in the nation. It's not Ohio State. It's not Florida State. It's not Southern Cal. Those were pretty much your consensus top 4 teams right there. Penn State, watch out for Penn State. Penn State looked really, really good, and they've got an elite quarterback, an elite running back, and a very close to elite, if not elite, defense. Penn State could go undefeated. They do have to play Ohio State, I think, in Columbus. But, wow, they looked good. But anyway, that's it. Let's see, the SEC, how'd they do? Well, they all won, didn't they? Except for Florida. Tennessee, you're on deck. Don't let Uncle Lou down, because you know what's going to happen if you do. You know what's going to happen if you do. Texas A&M plays today against UCLA. That's a tough game to pick. I hate UCLA and Josh Rosen. I have a feeling Texas A&M is going to lose this game, though. Of course, I'm an SEC homer, so Aggies, Uncle Lou will be rooting for you. But I don't see you beating UCLA today. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Anyway, Notre Dame is garbage and dumpster juice. They're terrible. I don't care what they did to Temple yesterday. I don't care what quarterback is playing for UGA. Hell, you can fly me up to South Bend and put me back there, and neither one of my legs work, and we're still going to beat Notre Dame, and I will have plenty to say about that game coming soon. Don't worry. I'm looking forward to making a Notre Dame video, because I've got plenty to say. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed your team's games yesterday and had a great first college football Saturday. A couple of games on today and tomorrow. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Keep it real, too.